All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night live stream of this Bourbon Podcast Live. Very happy to be back with you guys once again as we enjoy some whiskey together, of course. Yes, actually, I know that the thumbnail says and the title says, "No bourbon, no rye." What's it gonna be? Some of you may have guessed. It will, in fact, be Scotch. So, I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about that. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that, honestly. Uh, so we're certainly gonna find out together what's gonna happen here, and I'm scared. Um, I think that some of you all might also be scared for me. Crank my volume up a little bit. First off, I want to say thank you to everybody who is in here tonight. Thank you to everybody who is watching the replay on YouTube as well. Appreciate you guys, as always. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button or the like. Please go ahead and do so. Get notified every time that I go live on Thursday evenings. And also, all of the places that you can donate in lieu of doing a super chat, which I unfortunately don't have here on YouTube. All those links are down here at the bottom. PayPal, Venmo, and Square. Low volume still. I can fix that. I can fix that indeed. Do. There. Maybe that helps a little bit. Not sure. First off, as well, I want to say hello to the folks in the chat. Todd Cooper, Joseph Brazo, Donnie the Linux Cat, Clifton from Bourbon Bites. We're all going to go hang out with him after we get done on this stream. Of course, Chris, all the way from Brisbane, Australia. Daniel Kerber. Hello, Daniel. Nick Foles. Hello, Nick. Let's see, who else is in here? Trev Wilson, the handsome man himself. ADHD Whiskey, welcome in, Matt. Kyle Ragsdale is hanging out in here as whale, all the way from Bourbon Blind. Don Nishida is here too. A bit too much reverb now. Is that better? The wonders of audio manipulation. It's fun. It's good stuff. It's good stuff indeed. So I guess let's get into this. All of these products, all these samples, rather. Mike Myers here as well. Hello, Mike. All these samples have come from none other than Matt from the Whiskey Crusaders. So if you folks, I actually did not get the chance to let Matt know that I was going to be doing this. If anybody would like to let Matt know that this is happening, so he can laugh at me as I am sampling these scotches, please feel free to, because I have no shame, and it's entertainment time. Something like that. What a weird catchphrase. It's entertainment time. If you didn't know it, now you do. I'm actually going to start out, though, with not a scotch. If I can freaking find it every single time that I go to look for a bottle on the daggone floor. I'll lose it. Ah, there it is. Found it. So this was a bottle that Swan was not a big fan of, but I kind of like a little bit. This is the Woodford Reserve Kentucky Straight Malt Whiskey at 90.4 proof, the standard for all. Ooh, Woodford Reserve products. So, gonna kind of try to get my feet wet a little bit in this flavor profile. Let me know as well, guys, what you all are drinking in the chat too. I hope you guys have had a good week so far. I know that it's not quite over yet, but it's getting there. Danny's Candies is here. Hello, Danny. Good to see you. Danny says I need to show you guys my floor bunker. I would, but the camera on the computer does not really allow for that too much, unfortunately. I would otherwise, but I guess. Maybe I'll take a picture and share it on social media. Clifton was not a fan of this either, nor was he a fan of the wheat. Fair enough. I don't mind it. I actually have kind of gotten to the point where I like single malts a little bit. Zopher1920. Hello, Zopher. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Todd Cooper is drinking Larceny A120. Look at you. Danny's Candies. He's drinking some Henry McKenna 10-year. That's how it's done. I do like this nose quite a bit. I certainly don't mind that. I truly don't mind that. I think that's quite tasty. Not being a big fan of the regular Woodford, this is a bit of a step up. Donnie wants to know what I am going to be pouring. I'll go through these for you guys. So in no particular order, I'm just kind of grabbing these and letting you know. I believe this one is the Comparador Oak Cross, 86 proof. This is going to be the Tomaten Dual Char Bourbon and Virgin Oak casks, 86 proof as well. Matt's got great handwriting. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. This next one will be the Auchentoshan American Oak. Okay. Can you tell I'm a little bit out of my waters? Glenlivet Founders Reserve. And then finally, the Glenrother Bourbon Cask Reserve. Last two were 80 proof. So, looking forward to... I am legitimately looking forward to getting into these. Matt curated these for me since I am not particularly a Scotch drinker, of course. And he said that I might like this. Sister Sarah is in here. Hello, Sarah. It's good to see you. Cheers to you. Auchentoshan. Okay. Like I said, Matt has great handwriting. I am just unable to read Matt's handwriting. So I really like this Woodford malt. I really like it. I am surprised at how much I like this. This is a good sipping whiskey. Really, really is. Hello, Matt from ADHD Whiskey. If you guys have not gone and followed Matt yet on social media, on YouTube, please go and do so. He is a wonderful, wonderful human being. And I'm very excited to see where the next round of the Old Charter products go in 2020 or 2021. We're not sure just yet what's going to happen there. Zopher's excited about the Scotch. As I said, I am a little apprehensive towards the Scotch, but hey, what are you going to do? We're going to find out together. Yeah. I'm going to finish this off so I can move on to the first of my Scotches. Good little palate warmer. I am not mad about that at all. Okay, Matt says he gives himself 4 out of 10 stars. That's unfortunate. Sarah's got White Claw on deck per usual. I expect nothing less of you. So I'm gonna let you guys who have a little bit more experience, um, with scotches. Let me know which one I should try first. So I'll go through them again, and let me know in the chat, of course. Comparador Oak Cross, Glenrother Bourbon Cask Reserve, Tomatin Dual Char Bourbon and Virgin Oak, Octantoshan. Is that how we say it? I don't know. I'm going to mispronounce it all night long. And the Glenlivet Founders Reserve. So let me know in the chat. I'm going to try to get caught up on a couple of comments here. Hello, Patrick Starkey. Good to see you, my friend. Clifton said, I still think I like peated scotch more than non-peated. I like how different it is. Honestly, any sherry or port finished scotch is good to me. Interesting. Well, I guess I've got to if this takes in some regard, I would be opening. I would be open to trying different things. So, say I like one of them, and you're like, well, you'd really like a sherry cask finished. Fine, I'll go for it. Patrick said Oshkosh Bagosh. Clifton said Glenlivet is probably a good place to start. Zophar is confused. Matt said these are all going to taste worse than your pronunciation. I don't know, man. I am only seeing one response. That's coming from Clifton, and that's the Glenlivet. Don Nishida has shown up in the chat. Welcome to the chat, Don Nishida. So I guess I'll start with the Glenlivet then. Again, it's the Founders Reserve. It's 80 proof. Have I tried the Ardbeg yet? I do not have any Ardbeg, unfortunately. I know how much people would love to see me try some Ardbeg. Zophar says Glenlivet, so let's go for it. Oh, that is so light. Oh, that is so light. Oh my goodness, that looks like watered down bourbon. James Taylor, hello James Taylor. Good to see you in the chat. Oban 14 is my regular scotch. Good stuff. Sipping Woodford Double Oak. Glen will be fine to start. Good deal. Steven said, just got here. Are we drinking gin? No, we're not. I'm drinking scotch. And we'll see if I like it. Donnie said, still got some reverb. I think you read my volume comment after you had fixed it already. Sorry. Now call it a dram, Zophar. This is a very light dram of Scotch whiskey. What am I doing? Don said I needed to send some Ardbeg, one of the only Scotch that tastes like it's pronounced. Ardbeg. Clifton said Speyside? I believe it's Speyside, I apologize. Scotland Founders Reserve skillful selection of casks enhances the signature fruity flavors of Glenlivet. Are you copying and pasting from the Glenlivet website? I have no idea. Or is this just all being popped off of your head? Don also needs to send me some cast strength scotch. I'm happy to try some cast strength scotch. I think this might be a little too light for my palate. There is a good chance of that. If I think this is too light, wait until I see some Islay scotches. Fair enough. Fair enough indeed. All right. How's it pronounced? Slanche. It's not bad. It's inoffensive. It honestly drinks more like a beer than it does a whiskey, which could be dangerous. I mean, it's got the nuttiness of, say, like a lager, which I like. I don't dislike that at all. I I kind of like this. Matt might have done something right by me. This is actually pretty good. I don't think that it's not got that inoffensive um, peated flavor that I think that turns bourbon drinkers away from Scotch. And by the way, one of the reasons I wanted to do this too is because Don Nishida did ask us a question recently about whether it would be harder to get bourbon drinkers to like Scotch or vice versa. And kind of unanimously, Curtis Swan and I all said that it would be harder to get bourbon drinkers to like Scotch. So, in that spirit, I figured as a bourbon drinker, I would try some Scotch. This is in between. Derek Julian, I am drinking Scotches tonight. So, thank you for being here. Um, and this is the Glenlivet Founders Reserve. Honestly, and it might be because I had a gin and tonic earlier as well. There's something herbal about it that I kind of like, but it's definitely showing its head. It is somewhere in between being a whiskey and a gin in terms of a flavor profile for me. But I really don't mind this, especially at 80 proof. I would have thought that it would have tasted a lot lighter, a lot more youthful or watered down. But honestly, it truly has surprised me. So I might have another sip. It's just so. It's honestly a little bit refreshing. I get that same kind of feeling that I do when I've had a lager after kind of a hot day or in the middle of a hot day. I think it's got some really interesting notes to it. It is creamy. It does have a fruitier flavor to it than I was expecting, but this so far 1 for 1. Todd said, I agree. I went from Scotch to bourbon and not sure if I would enjoy Scotch as much as I do if I would have experienced it in reverse. Donnie said, I took to Scotch right away as a bourbon drinker. I tend to lean toward the Islay, peated, and the funky Scotches more so than the cheaper blends. Compass Box blends are awesome. Interesting. Oh, Steven's drinking some Armagnac. I would love some Armagnac. Honestly, I've said it on the show before. If I could have Armagnac and there was no more bourbon or rye in the world, I would be a really happy camper. I would be really happy with that. I think Armagnac is delicious. I really, truly do. Steven said it's grapey and oaky. Yes. Yes, indeed. Compass Box knows what they're doing. Fantastic drams. Interesting. Donnie also doesn't like Johnny Walker or Monkey Shoulder. I have not tried Monkey Shoulder yet. I have always wanted to, just out of curiosity, especially since it's the cat's pajamas, the bee's knees for plenty of people when they talk about the Scotch that got them kind of into Scotch at the very least. So, fair enough. Again, 1 for 1. I truly did like that. The finish has a tobacco flavor to it as well. Um, it's nice. That would actually go really well with a cigar. That would be really good with a cigar. So, 1 down. Where should I go next? I left over the Octantoshan, the Tomaten, the Glen. Have I been saying it wrong? Glen Rothes? I've been saying Glen Rothers, haven't I? Glen Rothes. And also the Comparador. So any of these four, you guys let me know. Jason from the Mash and Drum has popped in. Hello to you, Jason. Papa Ritter said, your grandparents drank Dewar's. Boy, did they. Everybody say hi to Papa Ritter, by the way. It is very good. By the way, Jason, to see you. Eric Smith said, Scotch, what have I just tuned into? Hey man. Sometimes you just look at what you got going on, you look at your collection, and you go, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's switch it up. Clifton said, all this Scotch is making me more excited for my rye flight. Auchentoshan. Okay. All right. Got a hey Grandpapa Ritter as well. Tomatin always reminds you of buttered popcorn, Don. Well, I'm going to give that a shot then. Zopher said, do you think in general bourbon is for sweet tooth palate peeps and Scotch is for more savory palate peeps? Of course there are exceptions, but anyone else think this has any merit? I will be honest with you. I am much more of a savory person. I would much rather have a bag of potato chips than a candy bar. That being said, if y'all have ever had chocolate covered potato chips, that's where it's at. That's where it's at, man. Okay. Oh, I feel like I'm offending Chad and Sarah by drinking Scotch out of its bourbon night glass. Wow, that is another light one. Clifton said, maybe I've had Tomatin because I remember an independent bottling of it being super popcorny. Fair enough. Dad said they're good. Fair enough. Golly, that is late. Look at that. It is kind of popcorny. I mean, it definitely is. It's buttery and more savory on the nose. Tomatin. Okay, I apologize. Matt from ADHD Whiskey said, welp, tack on another 30 pounds, chocolate covered potato chips. Here I come. Matt, I will happily send you some if you would like for me to. Also, thank you to everybody who is helping me out with the pronunciations in the chat. I have no idea how to pronounce any of them. I did okay with Glenlivet, I think. Tomatin, I would not have gotten otherwise. Tomatin is what I had been saying. I guess I was pronouncing it like it was a French word. I don't really know. But Auchentoshan, I'm going to say that wrong all night long. So, anyway. Sorry, Don Nishida. I apologize for the suspense. It started really fruity. Apologies for hitting the mic. It started really fruity, especially like on the very front tip of the palate. And it is evolving into a more savory flavor as well. That is, Tomatin. See, now I'm getting contradictory pronunciations. I'm gonna let you guys go and have a little powwow, have a conversation. Let me know how I should be pronouncing it. Converse amongst yourselves, and let me know, because I don't want to look the fool. I'm looking the fool right now because I'm drinking Scotch on a bourbon channel. But that being said, I'd like some clarity. Maybe I should just go on YouTube and watch pronunciation videos. Like Beston. I don't know what that is. Papa Ritter's hopping off of the chat. He's gonna see me in the morning. He's helping me lug a dresser out to the sidewalk. Good stuff, right? That's what you came here for. To ma 10. I still don't. Is that okay? Okay. Where's Aquavite when you need him? I agree. Where is Aquavite? I've never really talked about it, and I don't watch him a whole lot. But what I've seen, I'm a fan of his. Um, he's great. He does really great content, and he certainly does better content than having the bathroom door to your guest bath right behind you. Speaking of which, this is going to be one of my last few streams in this space. Over the next few weeks, the plan is to clear all this out, paint it up, get it ready for baby girl. And so there's going to be a new space that I will be doing live streams in. Yeah, it'll be fun. But I'm gonna make it look a little bit more professional, and it's gonna be a cool space. I'm gonna try to set up my DSLR as well, and do some cool stuff with it. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to all that. Donnie says that Akavite has a couple of pronunciation videos that are really helpful. I will have to watch them, especially if now I am getting into Scotch. I don't know if I am, but I will say this has not been a bad experience so far. I will also say that I am currently sitting at a 2 for 2. So take that with a couple grains of salt. Steven asked, where is the Blanton's lamp that used to be in your streams? It's actually still over there. It's right there. It hasn't left. It's just, I mean, I could do that. I feel like that's an awkward angle. Is this less awkward? I really don't know. I only have so many more times that I'm doing this in this space before things get changed around again. So when that happens, though, I might toss the Blanton's lamp onto the table, and we'll have a better view. I don't know why I'm doing this on stream. Anyway, let's have another sip of this Toma 10. Toma 10, as Donnie said. I don't hate it. I really don't. I think that one is a little bit less in my wheelhouse than the Glenlivet was. But I mean, overall, still an enjoyable whiskey. Definitely do not dislike that. All right, I got 3 scotches left as we are rounding out to the top of the hour. I want to remind you folks, if you have not hit the like button yet, please do so. And please remember, super chats are available at the links in the banner below, as well as in the description below. Shoot me a super chat, ask me a question, give you a shout out, all sorts of nice stuff. And I'll be happy to say thank you, accept it. I don't know. There's where you can get super chats. Donnie, thank you for sharing those Aquavite pronunciation videos, by the way. Clifton said my favorite scotches are the ones that are really out there in flavor. I got nothing for you, man. I just don't have the experience with them. Of course, I like the darker flavors of bourbon. But that being said, just the times are changing, I guess. Anyway, James Taylor said, "I'll say it again, Obon 14." Fair enough, man. This next one is the Auchentoshan American Oak at 80 proof. Yet another watered down apple juice color to it. I don't mean to dog on the color by any means, but it's very different from the Knob Creek single barrel that I was drinking recently. Oh, ooh. Don said, "Did Matt Whiskey Crusaders send you those scotches?" He did, indeed. Uh, He actually sent me these quite a while ago, and I just haven't had the chance to get around to them. There was that. I did stop doing. I did stop doing my live streams for what, like 8 or 9 months. So I had to, some stuff got pushed to the back burner. These, unfortunately, were part of that. But that being said, I am very happy that I got to actually try them. I saw Don say, there it is. I just picked up 3 bottles of a different Knob Creek Hawaii store pick, 15 years, 120 proof bottles for $50 each. One of the best deals in bourbon. Cannot be ignored. Cannot be ignored at all. Trev Wilson, the handsome captain himself, said, I really need to try more scotch. I've had like 4 different ones. I haven't had that many either. I guess after this evening, you could probably say that I've had about 10. Maybe not even that much. Maybe closer to 8 or 9, which is, whatever. That being said, though, I don't have a whole lot of experience with them either. So, Zopher said, different climate, different spirit. I don't know. So somebody please share some info about the Auchentoshan for me. I'm curious about this one. Don said Whiskey Crusaders threw the 5-bottle blind on their live this week. No surprise Dickel was last, but they both chose the Hawaii Alawai as their number 1. No kidding. That's fantastic. Sorry. The music from earlier was still playing in the headphones, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't going crazy. Clifton said I can get you some samples of cast strength scotches that I think you'll like. I would do an episode on cast strength scotches if both you and Don sent me some. I would not be upset about that. Clifton, you know what? If you do that, we'll do a joint stream again. It's been a little while. It's been a few weeks. I'd love to do another joint stream with you, of course. And it'd give me an excuse to. So if you do that, we'll get some bourbon samples sent your way as well, so that we can make do on what I brought up a few weeks ago, that you should be on the podcast. Just throwing that one out there into the world. Seeing what sticks. Auchentoshan American Oak was introduced in 2014 to replace the classic, matured exclusively in first fill bourbon casks. This is a vanilla-rich and fruity whiskey. It's a lowland Scotch. Name means corner of the field in Scots Gaelic. And Don wants to send it to both of us. Fair enough. Auchentoshan. Auchentoshan? Maybe it's Toshan, like Tosh.0. That's my reference. How cool am I? Auchentoshan. I apologize. Anyway, let's try the Auchentoshan. Bagoshan. Now, I will say that's the closest to a bourbon that we've had so far. That reminds me of Jim Beam. The finish doesn't. Finish does not remind me of Jim Beam. But the front of the palate most certainly does. Oop. Sorry. That being said, I think this is my least favorite of the three that I've had so far. I don't think it's as well rounded as the rest of what I've had. It's not bad, but I think it's got a little bit of a like sharper part of the flavor profile that I'm not crazy about, but that's okay. Eric Black is late but present, and you know what, Eric? That's okay. Happy to have you here, regardless. Clifton said this one's $40 to $45. Okay. No point of reference. None at all. I feel like my bourbon bottles are staring at me judgingly as I cheat on them. Truly, I don't mind this. But I think this is definitely the one that's not in my wheelhouse as much as the other two that I've had so far. Donnie said, Nose tropical cocktail of lime and coconut cream, mandarin and vanilla with fresh oak spices and a touch of cane sugar syrup, sweetness, citrus, and herbaceous mint flavors of mojito with oak character. I think I'm getting the top notes of the creaminess with some of the fruit. I have to dig a little bit to get some of the more herbal flavors, but they're present. They're definitely present. Palate is toffee and maple syrup sweetness. I totally get that. Barley sugar and custard cream with spices like cinnamon and a touch of nutmeg. Fresh fruits like lychees and gooseberries, but also caramelized orange zest. The finish is creamy with custard apple, grilled chestnuts, coconuts, and vanilla flavor lingering. I'm on board for all of that. There's a pepper note in there, too, that they didn't mention. Of course, everything's subjective. But there definitely is a black pepper note that kind of stands out for me. That was not included in that tasting note guide. Guide? I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm drinking scotch. What's happening? Dustin says, I show up an hour late and Pear Bear's drinking scotch? Actually, yes, Dustin. I am drinking scotch. And I'm confused with the life that I'm leading now. Clifton said, most scotch, even the cheap stuff, unless it's a blend, is $30+. So this is probably equal to a $25-ish bourbon, at least in my experience. Fair enough. Fair enough. Eric, I have not had a bourbon with 60-40 corn barley. That would be interesting. I feel like I've only ever had like a higher corn content than that. But I mean, I could be persuaded to try it. Donnie said, proud of your open-mindedness tonight. Look, man, I've never said, if I have, I apologize. But I don't mind people drinking what they like. I mean, go for it, man. I don't care. Scotch is just not always my bag. And in this case, it's actually proven that that Matt from Whiskey Crusaders basically knew what he was talking about. So can't knock the guy for the work that he put into this one. I appreciate you, Matt, very much, especially if you're watching back to this. I appreciate you even if you're not watching back. I just want to throw that out there. Matt's a good dude. He's a really good dude. Tim Sip. Sounds like you're about to start beatboxing. Sip. It's a very strange hi-hat hit. So the next one I went with was the Glenrothes Bourbon Cask Reserve. 80 proof. Everything I've had tonight has been 80 proof. The last time that I did a stream where I only had 80 proof or lower than 100 proof, maybe, I wound up canceling that and just drinking Elijah Craig barrel proof towards the end of it. So I'm happy I kind of stuck to my guns on this one tonight. So. Dustin said, "Is this the Twilight Zone? Be right back. Restarting the phone and taking a cold shower." It's really happening, man. I mean, unless somebody hit me over the head with a shovel and I'm still dreaming. Feels real to me. I've had this one before. I think I've had this one before. I don't know where or why, but that nose is like... It's very familiar. It's very, very familiar. Clifton said that's the beauty of cast strength scotch. Fair enough. Fair enough, man. Matt really picked a great starter scotch. Some people love to throw newbies into the deep end right off the bat with the hardcore Islay distilleries. I really do appreciate that Matt tried to guide me in a little bit more instead of just throwing me in without swimmies. Donnie, this is the Glen Rhodes Bourbon Cask Reserve. And I feel like I had this one because it had bourbon in the name. So, what can I say? Let's dive in. Whoa. Oh, that finish. That is a great finish. That's the best finish out of all four of the ones that I've had so far. That is nutty and coffee heavy. There's a toffee note to it as well. Woo, I like that. I like that a lot on the finish. Front of the palate's a little bit flat. There's not much going on. But that finish is bananas good. I mean, I am all about that finish. Even saying bananas, it's like there's a little bit of banana flavor on the finish as well. I'm taking another sip of this one. This is the best one I've had so far. Yes, Glen Rhodes. Did I say Glen Rhothers again? I apologize if I did. The best scotch goes through multiple transitions from first taste through finish. It is Glen Rhodes. I apologize. I might have said Glen Rhothers again. I'm so sorry if I did. Don said we have a convert. Sure, fine. I don't hate this. Bourbon will always be my number one, but I'm in this instance. I am a huge fan of this. I love. Also, hello, Bottled and Bond. It's good to see you as well. I like this a lot. Really, truly. I know that it's probably a little bit more curated to be at 80 proof. I would... Glenrothes. Oh, okay. Glenrothes. I apologize. It will not be a Scotch podcast next week. I apologize. Donnie said it's okay to like bourbon and Scotch. Yeah, man. I'm okay with it. I feel at peace with this decision. Coming this fall, this is my Scotch podcast. No. There is a chance that I might incorporate Scotch more into our episodes. There is a chance I might incorporate it into what I've been drinking recently, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be a mainstay by any means, but I will say I've really enjoyed this. Bottled and Bond said, "I'm happy you're stepping outside of that comfort zone." Yeah, man, this is. I really am enjoying this. I didn't think that I was going to. I was definitely apprehensive, but this was a huge treat of a surprise, and I am here for it, man. I am totally here for it. Donnie said I avoid tribalism in all its forms. Hard to argue with that. I so Don said that story you told once about how some grabbed your Instagram name when you played the vodka April Fool's joke was funny. That was actually somebody in this chat. That was ADHD Whiskey. And he actually did it to help me. He did it to protect me. But I did freak the heck out when I saw that somebody had taken the at my bourbon pod handle. I was I was not too pleased about that. But then he was like, "It's okay, man. I got you covered." And I was like, "Oh, thank God." I thought somebody had legitimately taken it from me. And I sent him a message immediately. I was like, "Hey, man, this was an April Fool's joke. I need it back by the end of the day." He's like, "I got you, man." Clifton said, "I'm happy too. This is the realization I came to about a year ago rather. Still exploring and obviously prefer bourbon, but love dabbling in scotch." And Sam B said, "Haha." Todd Cooper with the super chat. He said, "Love the Scotch evening. Great to catch another live stream. Cheers, brother." Hey, Todd Cooper. Cheers to you as well. I don't know where to cheers that. I did have a pear scare. Wait for the finish. Wait for the... Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Ooh, it's like Rocky Road ice cream, man. Oh. All right. I hope that the Comparador Oak Cross has something else to offer that the Glen Roths might have been missing. But, like, shoot, dude. I was not prepared. I was not prepared for how good that was. You could not have told me that I was going to be freaking out over the finish on a scotch when I came up with this idea earlier today. I would have been like, "You crazy, man." Steven said, "I don't know if I like that last noise." Fair enough. Oh, man. Okay. Last one, and then we'll wrap up. And we will head over to the Bourbon Bites live stream, which Trev or Donnie, or anybody really, if you could drop a link to Clifton's live stream in the chat, as you do every week, I would really appreciate it. Also, thank you to everybody who is in here at the moment. 27 folks might not seem like a lot, but we don't normally get over 25. Really over like 23 or 24. So thank you guys so much for being here. And as soon as I say that, the number drops. Cool. It was also really nice seeing so many folks in the chat last week when I had Chad from It's Bourbon Night here. We had a good time drinking some whiskeys and getting to know more about Chad. So I don't know why I put that back because I still would like to look at it. Clifton, you're welcome. Appreciate you, man. All right. Last, I'm going to say it, dram of the evening goes to this Comparador Oak Cross, 86 proof. It's like the lightest one out of the whole clan, and it's the highest proof. I mean, it's so bizarre. That is a fruity, fruity nose. Fruity as heck. Little bit of savoriness kind of peppered throughout there as well. It's not a bad nose by any means. I like it. Danny said you're welcome, Perry. I don't know why that tickled me. Okay. Definitely good up front. I think that it's got a savoriness to it that I really wasn't expecting. Little bits of fruit kind of hanging out on the front end of the palate. The finish definitely drops off. There's not very much to it in terms of length, but it's still enjoyable. It's still really tasty. I still think. I think the Glen Roth's is easily my number one for the evening. Let me see. So if I had to put them in order, I would go. Can we see the label on it? Sure. I mean, oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Come on, camera. I mean, if you can read Matt's handwriting, which, by the way, as I said before, is phenomenal. There you go. Maybe it's not Comparador. I don't know. Oak Cross, something or other. So if I had to kind of put them in order, I think the Glen Roths would be first. The Glenlivet probably would be second. It's a tough 3 and 4 with the Tomaten. Wait, that's Compass Box. I never would have known that. I would have. Okay, that's Compass Box. I'm an idiot. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around for so long as I continue to make a fool of myself. So the Compass Box Oak Cross. Gosh, now I'm all thrown off. I don't even know what I'm doing. First, Glen Roth's. Second, Glenlivet. Tied for third, I would say the Tomaten and the Compass Box. And I think last, the Akantoshan. I didn't have everything kind of laid out in front of me to compare. Yeah, I know. I can't read. I apologize, Matt, that your pristine handwriting didn't translate for me. I'm really sorry, but yeah. Anyway, I wish I could have done like kind of a good side by side of all of these. I don't unfortunately have enough clean glasses, but I'm just kind of going off of experience and memory. But the Glen Roth's is definitely my number one from all the different scotches that I had tonight. The Glenlivet, I think, kind of set the pace for me tonight. I think that it was easily just kind of a great way for me to dip my toe in and then get more adjusted to everything. But yeah, overall, I think this was a pretty successful live stream. We're going to go ahead and kind of wrap things up. Don said, "Well, all of the mispronunciations." Let me start that over. Well, of all the mispronunciations, who would have thunk it would be compass box? I don't. Me fail English. That's impossible. If you got that reference, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. I gotta know if anybody got that. Chad M. Hello, Chad. Don't be afraid of the peat. I only drank bourbon and thought I should start slow. So my first scotch was Old Pulteney 12, and while I did enjoy it, kind of, Ardbeg 10 absolutely blew my mind. Fair enough. Seems like some folks really want me to get into Ardbeg, so there's a chance, and I'm saying there's a chance. So we'll definitely get to it. Thank you all so much for being a part of this edition of TIMBP Live. Of course, if you have not yet hit that like button, please do so now. Please subscribe as well and hit the bell notification so you can know every time that new episodes of the podcast get uploaded to YouTube and every time that I go live. You can follow the show, of course, at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Become a patron of the show at patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast for as little as $1 a month. Joseph Brazo with the confirmation of what that quote was from. That is Ralph Wickham. That is a great Simpsons quote. Yes, so patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast. Of course, you can also support the show as with super chats too, which come at any of the 3 links listed below in the banner. Thank you all so much for being here this week. It's been super fun hanging out with you guys and trying on something totally different. I enjoyed this. I really, really did. So thank you guys so much for being here. Next week, I don't think I'm going to be going live. Unfortunately, I wish I could, but we are going to be in South Carolina, as I talked about on this week's episode of the podcast, which, by the way, if you've not listened to that, go check that out everywhere that you get podcasts. That does it. Thank you all so much. I'll see you next time, but until then, I'm Perry, and this is My Bourbon Podcast Live. Yes, I want to end the stream.